Good morning. Good
Good
morning. Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
And welcome. I think it's Sunday, yes? Yeah. Some places it's Sunday. All righty. Well, thank you so much for being here. Because you could be anywhere at this time on Sunday, but you chose to be with us, so thank you. And whether you're here in physical form right here in the building or our beloved live streamers sitting in your PJs, drinking your coffee,
Right?
or watching at a later time in your PJs, we are so glad that you're here. So just to let you know a little bit about who we are and what we're about, I'm Reverend Divine and this is Reverend Liz. We are co-ministers here at Unity of Fort Collins, and we welcome everyone, no matter where you are on your spiritual path, whether you've been in your journey for many, many, many years, or you're just putting your toe in the water, kind of tapping into who you are and what you're about. All of that, all of who you are is welcome here. We embrace all teachings and we embrace everything that has to do with love, for we are all love. And to me, God is just another word for love. So that's who you are, and that's what we're about here at Unity of Fort Collins. I'd like to take just a moment to read our mission statement so you can get a sense also of what we're about. Our Unity mission statement is that we're centered in love, inspired by spirit, we awaken, connect, and thrive. Now you know more about what we're about. And I believe that you have some announcements.
We have some announcements, of course. You always look forward to that more than anything else, correct?
It's like your television show,
Right?
and you can't wait for the commercials.
So, first of all, is there anyone here for the second time? If so, would you raise your hand and wave? Okay. Glad to have you back. Thank you, thank you. Anyone here for the first time? Hey, well, welcome. Thanks for joining us. If you have time after the service, I'd love to meet up with you and, get to know you a little bit better. We have welcome packets that will be outside on the black wire table, so that can give you a little more information as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to talk to me, talk to Reverend Divine, or anyone that's been here more than 2 times, perhaps. So glad that you're present with us today. We also have outside a prayer box, which is a prayer box, a suggestion box, and a gratitude box, all rolled into one box. So if you have a prayer revealment, a thank you, a suggestion, or an idea, put it in the box. And also, if you'd like to be on the e-newsletter that comes out every Thursday, please let us know that as well. We just need your name and your email address, and so that you can keep up with all the activities here at Unity of Fort Collins. And they're always on the website as well. We want to give some love before we get started to the kids, because we have a youth ministry in the back. So let's send our love, send the love vibes, because they're back there doing their own lessons and teachings about unity and what this teaching is about, which is, of course, as Reverend Divine said, it's all about love. We want to thank all those folks that have stepped up in the spiritual practice called Sacred Seva. That's a special name to say. Those that are coming to serve in the mornings to help out after the service, to help clean up a little bit. Those that are helping out with the youth ministry. There's plenty of places that one can serve. We also have an adopt area in the yard. So if you're an outside person and would like to have more information or help out with that, you can adopt an area. Any of these, you can check in with Julie, who is awesome and amazing, our office administrator. So she would be happy to give you that information. This coming Wednesday, do we have meditation or grief and loss? That's the question. Well,
Sometimes they're the same.
True that, very true. So the first and third Wednesdays, and I believe this is the third Wednesday, we have meditation here at Unity in the Roomy Room, which is the room at the very far end. It's a half-hour meditation, and we're also putting that live on Facebook under the Unity of Fort Collins page. So if you don't get here at 6 o'clock and you're at home, you can watch us there. And then on the second and fourth Wednesdays, we have
Grief and loss, and this is a support drop-in group. Loss does not mean death. It means different forms of transition that we're in, and we're always about something. So if you want additional support sometimes, it's just a great place to feel some extra love.
And Andres, I'm not thinking that this mic is really picking up much, just FYI. It's very low.
Is it very low? Oh, well, I could use my very big girl voice, and I will project.
And so the only other thing that we have coming up, and it's next Sunday, August 22nd,
Yeah.
we're having what is the annual picnic. Now, we're doing it different this year because of the COVID variants, and we're just making sure that people are staying safe. And speaking of staying safe, thank you so much for honoring yourself and one another by wearing your mask while we're in the building. And when you're outside, you can feel free to remove your mask, and just remember that people have different comfort levels. And so we really want to respect that when we're outside having communion and talking. So next week, on Sunday, after the service, annual picnic, you get to bring your own sack lunch or whatever it is that you want to eat, because we feel it's a little safer. We will supply some beverages. So that's the plan. So pack up a little lunch, and if you want to put it in the refrigerator or something like that during the service, I'm sure that would be fine to do as well. And then we'll be meeting outside for the annual picnic. And I think that's pretty much it for the announcements. Anything that anyone's got that needs to be brought forth? Don't think so. Okay, great. Let's go to prayer.
Okay. So if you like to go inward with me, if you feel comfortable with your eyes closed or whatever your comfort level is, let's just know that this time together, this sacred time together is blessed. And we know that everything that we are about, we create a safe container of love so that whatever you're experiencing through service, via the music, the message, if something stirs within you that you may not have expected, it's a place where you can feel that and have that, and it's all good and it's all perfect exactly as it is. And I'm knowing that the message today will be something that does uplift and inspire in some way. And oftentimes, we least expect things that come through to us and move us in a mighty way, whether it's right here in this moment together or later on throughout the week. So we just embrace that, knowing that it is perfect exactly as it is. And I know that each and every one of us, being here collectively as love, raises that vibrational energy so that we can be one with everything that needs to be about. I give great thanks knowing that anything and everything is possible if we remain opened and willing to say yes to our very good, our very best. And so it is.
And so it is.
And now if you'll join me, if you know the Unity blessing by heart, fantastic. Otherwise, there were little sheets at the table that had that. But it's pretty easy, so I'm sure you'll catch on. Our Unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world.
And so we do. And we're going to have music with the amazing L and L. So let's give them some love. This one. Thank you.
Okay. Nice. Well, this particular song is one of my songs. This one was written with my son Hollis. When he had cancer, I noticed one day he'd gone through a lot of chemo and he'd lost all his hair and gained a lot of weight. And I looked at him one day and I said, you know, you kind of look like Buddha. And so a song came real easily, the first two verses, but he had to kind of write the third one for some reason, and he did. And the very last verse I just finished because it's a little kind of retrospective. So here's my song called My Buddha, which my son was. Ba do da dwee da. My Buddha's working overtime, caught me dancing on the moon. Don't know what I thought I'd find, but I see now I am blind. Buddha's working overtime. My karma kicked me in the pants. I didn't hardly stand a chance. See, so far I have to climb to the place that is sublime. Buddha's working overtime. Buddha, Buddha, dee-da, doo-da, doo-da, da. When my soul begins to shine and enlightenment is on the line, though I don't always read the signs, Namaste's got me feeling fine. Buddha's working overtime. Now it's been years since you've been gone, but your spirit lingers on. Undiminished over time, healing thoughts inside my mind. Buddha's working overtime. Buddha, Buddha, dee da, doo da da. Thank you. Oh, thank you. And Hollis thanks you.
Good morning. Today's reading from the Daily Word is focus. I keep my thoughts focused on God. Great peace and joy fill me when I bow my head in prayer or raise my voice in song, my mind filled with thoughts of God and my heart overflowing with love. I wish to carry these blissful feelings with me wherever I go. My spiritual connection guides me in all my travels and interactions, keeping me calm and kind, balanced and unflappable. I center myself in peace with a feeling of deep well-being, which keeps me from feeling swayed by life's transient rhythms. I meet all circumstances with calm and poise, rising above annoyances and discord. I receive others with kindness and compassion, No matter how they treat me, I respond thoughtfully and act gently, drawing my patience and perspective from my focus on God, my source of love and light. And from Jeremiah, when you search for me, you will find me, if you seek me with all your heart. Thank you.
Well, here at Unity, we like to match the songs to what's being talked about today, and this was a request from Liz, the specific song, and we'll try to do it justice. It's a John Lennon song, and it was a fun challenge.
I apologize to John right now, but
He ain't no John Lennon, but then, you know.
John, she made me do it. Okay. We're playing those mind games together, pushing the barrier, planting seeds, playing mind gorilla, chanting the mantra, peace on earth. Some kind of mind games forever. Some kind of druid dude lifting the veil, doing those mind games gorilla. Some call it magic, the search for the grail. Love is the answer, and you know that, you know it for sure. Love is a flower, you gotta let it grow. So keep playing those mind games together, facing the future out of the now. Can beat that mind gorilla elsewhere with the stones of your mind. Yeah, we're playing those mind games forever, projecting our images in space and time. Space and time. Yes is the answer, and you know that for sure. Yes is surrender. You gotta let it go. So keep playing those mind games together, doing the ritual, dancing the sun. Millions of mind games gorilla, put in the soul power. Karmic wheel. To the karmic wheel, keep playing those mind games forever, raising the spirit of peace and love. Love is the answer. Yeah, you know that for sure.
and love is surrender. You gotta let it go.
I want you to make love, not war. I know you heard it before. I want you to make love, not war. I know you heard it before.
Sorry.
Andres? Oh. We're on. Was that good or what? Hello. I think that was, yeah, I'm good. We're good. I got some equipment here. Have a little. So that song, I love that song. And how that came about to be played today, well, let me just tell you. What happened was Elle and I were talking and texting basically about what the song could possibly be or the songs. And I'm walking at the senior center getting my steps in, and the thought Mind Games came into my consciousness. Now, I don't know when the last time I heard Mind Games was, and I certainly wasn't even close to knowing what the lyrics were. So, you know, Google loves to help you out, and YouTube. So I went on there and I watched the lyrics and listened to the song, and I went, oh, that's perfect. So that was a download or an upload, however you want to look at it. Mind Games Forever. And then, because I wanted to do a little more research on the song, that song came out in what year? Who knows? 72, I heard. Actually, close. Came out in 73 on Apple Records. And the title of the song wasn't, to begin with, Mind Games. It was actually Make Love, Not War. And what was interesting is looking at interpretations and meanings of this song. You know, a song's interpretation depends on your frame of mind. Because there were some people who thought it was a negative voice, because mind games sounds like a negative thing. But John was looking for a different way to convey the idea of make love, not war. And that was how he came into this song. And he was inspired by a book. Anybody know the name of the book? Would you like to know? Okay, just check it. It's called Mind Games and the Guide to Inner Space by Robert Masters and Gene Houston. He read that book, he had some copies, and that's what inspired him. So now you might be inspired to find the book itself, right? Now, I'm just saying, it's a very good likelihood. And the idea of the gorillas, the mind gorillas, that was, one interpretation was it's the peace warriors. It's those that are warriors, are the gorillas, and it's on our minds, and how we are using our minds is creating our world. So we want to be mindful of our minds. So who can tell me what the spiritual power or ability is that we are studying this month? Okay, I'm listening. Power. I heard some people even online knew what it was. We have a few here. It's power. And these powers or spiritual abilities were formulated by Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore, and he was studying what in a metaphysical way of the Bible. Who or what was he studying? Who knows? The 12 apostles, disciples. Okay. And his idea was that each of the 12 disciples represented a spiritual ability, a unique one for themselves, and that we all have those as well. And that they work together just like the muscles in our body, and yet we need to be able to use them and develop them in a way that enhances and works with us. The disciple that is associated with power is Philip. And the part of the body, because each body part also has a representation with power. And this Power is in your throat and your voice box. So power often has a bad reputation and a bad rap, because we often think of power, people having power over controlling, domineering, really vocal, trying to control others. And so we almost avoid the idea of, I don't want to assume power. Then that's the overdeveloped human sense of power. Then there's the underdeveloped sense of power where you can't master things very easily, or you feel you can't. It's feeling powerless, helpless, looking outside oneself for answers. It's that victim mentality. And the truth is, we've probably all had our times where we have been a bit more controlling, right? Yeah, you can say, maybe, yes. And where we've also felt like a victim. And I don't want to sign up for either of those, but we're going to look now at the power that we're looking at as the spiritual ability that we have been given. And that comes from Power Up Your Life. And power is the power to claim mastery of something, command authority of your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs. Express your preferences and prerogatives. Does that sound like something you'd be more interested in when you talks about power? Yes, and to how we can develop it. So in Reverend Linda Martellus Whitsett's book called Divine Audacity, she says that we are created for power. It's in us to succeed, to move forward and to accomplish. As it is true of all of our abilities, power can be used to improve or control our material life, and it can be cultivated as spiritual power for inner transformation, as well as blessing others. Now, Charles Fillmore, 100 years ago, he captured the trouble that so many seem to have in succeeding. He says, "Today, men are striving to acquire power through money, legislation, and man-made government, and falling short because they have not mastered themselves." Right? And Charles also, and that was in his book, The 12 Powers of Man, he also says, in The Atom-Smashing Power of Mind, doesn't that sound like an intriguing book, right? The power that rules the world is within. That's right, all the power we have. No one has power except that we do, and we maybe need to realize that now. So in her book, Reverend Linda speaks of 3 components or aspects of this thing called power. Last week, Reverend Devine spoke about self-mastery, and she did an amazing job, and she brought the Olympics in it, because what a beautiful example of self-mastery. Then, next week, we'll be looking at spiritual authority. So you want to know what's on this week's menu? Concentration. Concentration. So who in here is a multitasker? Please raise your hand. And if you're online, you're a multitasker, raise your hand. Okay, I see pretty much everyone's hand, and the truth is, we cannot not multitask. We're always doing often more than one thing at a time. Now here's a truth for you that got my attention. The truth is, you cannot multitask. It's impossible. The only thing we can do is focus on one thing at a time. And so what does Linda have to say about this? Well, she says, concentration is the opposite of an antidote for multitasking, with its false promise of increasing achievement. We cannot multitask. We can only focus on one thing at a time. Attempts to multitask lead to rapid switching from one focus to another, reducing our attention on anything and diminishing the quality of that focus. Our concentration ability is the power of single-mindedness. Concentration intensifies through the way a laser intensifies light. So, speaking of lasers, let's see, does it work? Oh yeah. So you might have one of these if you have a cat, right? This is the laser effect, where everything is concentrated in a focused way. Now, the lights that we have in here are not as focused. They're diffused lighting. But when you move into this experience of concentration of such things, of lasers, lasers are very, very powerful with their concentration. They can cut through steel. And this type of light cannot. So the concentrated power, when you concentrate and bring everything into one point, it becomes super, super powerful. And so we have this ability to laser beam our thinking and be ever more powerful than we do when we're supposedly multitasking and we're bouncing all over the place, right? So anyone ever take a magnifying glass out in the sun? Oh yeah, some of you have taken that magnifying glass. Oh yes, we have the, show and tell today. We have the magnifying glass and we set it up so that the sun beam is coming through it, and we might have a pile of leaves or some shredded paper. And we focus that sun's ray in a very concentrated way into one point. Did anyone ever do this and catch something on fire? Did you? Right? So this is just how our thinking is. Now, if I move this magnifying glass too close or too far, it won't work. Nothing will happen. It has to be so concentrated that there is just that pinpoint of concentrated sunlight to work. Well, that's how our thinking and concentration is. It's a very good analogy. So what is concentration? Concentration is the ability to direct one's attention in accordance to one's will. It means control of the attention. It's our ability to focus the mind on one subject, one thought, one object, at the same time exclude every other thought, feeling, sensation. It also means the ability to do one thing at a time, instead of jumping from one subject to another and losing attention and energy and time. Concentration is that state where we're so engrossed in one single thing that we're oblivious pretty much to everything else. Any of you have kids? Any of you have kids that have played and are so busy engrossed in their playing that they can't hear you calling them, right? And have you ever been so engrossed in a book, like a novel, mystery novel, that things are going on and you have no idea the noises? Somebody's, trying to get your attention and you're just in it. We have these opportunities where we're so enjoying or interested in a certain something that we're concentrated in our attention. So it's possible to be in that way. And recently, I was at a Melissa Etheridge concert this last Wednesday in Dillon. First time there, stayed in an Airbnb. So I got there, got my chair, got my backpack with my snacks and a drink, set it up fairly close. Then they have a dance floor. Well, the dance floor, there was a line of people kind of at the stage, and I went up and stood right there behind those folks, right in the middle. And for 2 hours, I didn't think about the backpack, the water, the snacks, the chair. I was so present to Melissa Etheridge playing it. Just the whole thing. My concentration was there. Now, here's the thing. That's concentration that we can do, but it's not true concentration. And does anybody want to know what true concentration is? Nod your head. Of course you do. True concentration is when you have more of a conscious and intended process in which you focus your mind at will whenever you want on whatever subject for a certain period of time, and not just for a few seconds or a couple hours. It's the ability to focus your mind not only on the enjoyable and pleasure activities and things, but also on your chores, your tasks, the things that you find boring or uninteresting. right? So to be able to meditate without distraction, right? Anyone here? So what is the thing that blocks us from our true concentration? Would you like to know that? Yes. How many of you have ever heard of or have experienced what has been known to be called the monkey mind? Monkey mind. And in the East, they call it the jumping monkey, because it's just like, and there's a branch, and there's a branch, and there's a thought, and there's a thought, and there's a branch, and there's a thought, and we have this jumping monkey from one thought to the other. You just want to go, I want to medicate those monkeys. I want to give them a banana with a sedative in it, right? Just stop already. Well, we all have that monkey mind, and maybe you have what is known as a squirrel's mind, where you're focused on something, and then all of a sudden, distraction, distraction, distractions. No matter if you have a monkey mind or a squirrel's mind, or maybe that prancing puppy who doesn't want to sit for anything, but you keep trying to train them. These are the experiences of what is known as the restless mind. That's when you're all over the place and your mind's just bzz, 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 and it's not concentrated whatsoever, is it? No. And what has happened to us as a group of folks is that our ability to be focused has kind of gone by the wayside for the most part. We're actually unconscious of how scattered our thinking is. It's only when you have to focus, like in meditation perhaps, that you notice how busy your mind really is. You know, you can consider the time where you got to study for a test or a class or something for work. So you go to the recliner chair, you have your book, you're ready, going to study. So you start reading it. And then you notice you're hungry. I got to get something to eat. I get up, go to the kitchen, get myself a little something, come back, sit down, start to read again. Now I hear the neighbors talking. Now I'm listening to the neighbors. Okay, bring my attention back to the book. I'm on the book now. Oh, I'm feeling kind of restless. I think I need to put some soft music on in the background. Put that on. Now I'm listening to some music. I'm getting back to the book. And all of a sudden I'm thinking about something that happened last Wednesday. And it goes on, and then I go look at my watch, and I'm like, wow, a whole hour's gone by, and I haven't read very much. What's up with that? Well, that's the example of that restless mind that takes us off. See, our minds often rule us instead of the other way around. We need to take the power back and have the dominion of our thoughts, and to be able to use this idea of concentration. Now, there's a lot of benefits to concentration. Would you like to know what we're focusing on and what you're going to get as you master more of this thing called concentration? Well, first of all, you have the ability to study and comprehend more easily and quickly. Number two, you have a state of inner happiness. Control of your thoughts instead of letting them control you. The ability to focus your mind. How about peace of mind? The freedom of annoying and futile thoughts. Better memory. You know, part of the reason why we think we don't have a memory is because we're not even focused on the thing, like when you pick something up and now you can't find it because you know you had it in your hand, but you weren't focused. You were thinking about something else and you set it down. We're so not focused. We actually have great memories. We're just not concentrating on what's going on. We can have inner strength, more willpower and decisiveness. And, I like this one, the ability to choose your thoughts. You can choose your thoughts. Now, they seem to come out of nowhere, yes? They just, zzz, all of a sudden you're thinking about what? And it's either a positive, supportive thought, or it's a negative, constrictive thought. It's either expanding us or constricting us. We need to be mindful of our minds. Now, what do you do when you want to choose your thoughts and you have a negative thought come in, and you know it is? It's a simple one word repeated twice. Cancel, cancel. Okay, you just thought something about a person that wasn't very nice. And what are you going to say? Cancel, cancel. Or you think, that's not going to work out. What are you going to say? Cancel, cancel. So that's called a denial. You cancel out the negative thought, and you want to replace it with an affirming thought. We have a great power. We've gotten the greatest power, and it's right here, the use of our minds. But even greater than the use of our minds, it's the choice. The greatest power we have been given is the power of choice. You have this at home. Do you see what this is? What is it? It's a remote for the TV. We can change the channel. I don't like CNN, constant negative news. I want to watch the Discovery Channel or the Planet Earth channel, whatever channel. We have the power to change the channels in our minds, but we're not usually thinking about it that way. So know that you have a power of choice, and you can use affirmations. It's a positive statement, as if it was happening now. This is what controls our outer experiences. Our outer experiences don't control us. We can rule over what is going on in our lives, and yet we have to concentrate. Now, here's a little depiction of the concentration power. So we have a flashlight, and you can sort of see this light as a big round light here. Well, this is the power of focus when we do this, and it gets more and more concrete, more and more laser focused. All of a sudden, that's where my attention is, not on everything else. So we want to create more of this, right? That's what I want to do, because I want to have these benefits. So would you like to know how? Part of me wants to be just a bad girl, if I want to call myself. Cancel, cancel, I'm not a bad girl. And say, well, maybe next week. But I'm not going to be that. So there's ways that you can focus your concentration. Now, you can take notes, or you can concentrate and remember everything I say. The choice is yours. Number one, the most powerful technique that you can have in increasing that power of true concentration is when you take a candle flame. You set up a candle, and all you do is you stare at the candle. And you'll notice how many seconds go by before you start to think of something else. And that's okay. You're bringing your attention back to the candle. It's going to continue and continue. Set up a timer. I'm doing this for 4 minutes. And every time, and don't get down on yourself if you drift. This is about bringing your mind back to that flame. You can also, if you don't have a candle, you could put a little dot with a pencil on the wall and just stare at that. And trust me, you're going to have thoughts. That's just the way the monkey mind is going to be. But it's like a puppy. You want to say, sit. And it gets up. Sit. Sit. So you're going to focus your attention. That's one way. Is just, and do this on a regular basis. It's like a muscle. You have a muscle called concentration. You have to exercise it. It's not going to develop on its own. It's up to you, though, if you want all those benefits and have more success in your life. Number two, you can just use the breath, closing your eyes, and just focus on the breath. Set a timer. When you drift, back to the breath. Back to the breath. You can count your breaths. Inhale, out, in, out. Whatever it is that you can just put your laser focus on. This is building the muscle of your concentration. Number three, you can, I have my note here, you can do a concentration workout. Like you could, if you're having trouble, doodle, just doodle. Focus only on doodling. Get somebody to throw a ball with. All I'm doing is throwing the ball. Focus on throwing the ball back and forth. Set a timer and try not to blink. You're focusing your attention on one thing. Try not to blink for 3 to 5 minutes. Have a hard candy. Put it in your mouth and don't crunch it. Just stay with it and focus only on the taste of the hard candy. And when you start drifting, bring your attention back. These are simple exercises, and you have to do them. You know, you can think about them, but that's not going to really help you out. You can also use the power of affirmation. You have a task to do. You're not maybe interested in the task, but you want to practice concentration. So what you do is you close your eyes, you take a breath, you hold it, and you let it go. Then you open up your eyes, and then you say something to this effect. I commit to spending however many hours or minutes to this task and fully offering the power of my mind to stay focused on this task. Now, you might think that that's simple and it really doesn't do anything. Try it. You can use the power of your mind through an affirmation and tell your mind, I use my mind to create more good. Say that with me. I use my mind to create more good. See, we can use the mind and not let it use us. We get to be masters, or not, or let it just run us around. So the last thing you can do is everyday activities. Your everyday activities are opportunities for you to focus your attention. When you're washing the dishes, mowing the grass, vacuuming the floor, cooking a meal, can you keep your mind focused on the task and the task itself without floating off and daydreaming or thinking about what you're going to do later? And you probably will drift off. Bring your focus back. When you're taking a shower, focus on the touch in that body part as you're washing. When you're walking, is your mind drifting? You get to have opportunities to focus on anything and everything that you're doing. Driving here, I was concentrating and thinking about, as I'm driving, the talk. And then I went, and I got to see how much I don't concentrate. It's very interesting, right? And then I was like, no, I'm going to focus on what I'm seeing. And what am I seeing? And focus on the trees, because I'm a tree person. So I was noticing, I'm driving, yes, and it's sort of a multitasking because I'm not just focusing on driving. However, it's good to be watching and seeing, except when you come to the roundabout, you want to not necessarily look at the trees anymore. You want to shift your focus to the car that's coming. Okay, I better slow down. So you have choice always to what you're going to put your focus on, but to have that timed energy, focus, laser beam, so you can strengthen the muscle of your concentration, that's where we're going. You can tame that puppy. You can tether the jumping monkey. I don't know what you can do with a squirrel, you know. Squirrels are squirrels. Can you tame a squirrel? Well, it's possible. Everything is possible with the Great Spirit. We have a power within us, and we can use it. Let's remember and be mindful. And this week, I invite you every day to do one of these practices. Do them throughout the day and take one of the ones that's more specific and do it. And see what kind of results you have. Are you willing? Are you going to be concentrated? Laser beams? Okay, this is a laser beam group. And everyone online, I know that you're laser beaming too. So let's go within. Take a moment just to anchor this in prayer. And taking a breath in, holding it, and letting it go. And just breathing. Recognizing that this breath is the spirit of life and love. There's a power and a presence that is breathing me, that is breathing each one of us. That power and presence is divine love intelligence. It's in our bodies, it's in our minds. We are creative beings, creating our experiences by how we use our minds. And so we are grateful for our minds and for the tools and the practices that we learn about here at Unity and other places, so that we can effectively use the tools that we have and create lives that work, create better health, greater finances, happier relationships. We have a power, and we are choosing in this moment to remember that and to use the practices today and in the upcoming week, and watch as our lives become easier, more fun, more focused, more successful. We know there is this power of concentration, and we are embodying it now. And we invite and know that that spirit of life that is breathing us guides us and assists us, and know it actually really is us, and that we have the power to create our lives. And we do so with joy and gratitude and love. And if you care to anchor that with me, please say with me, and so it is. I bless you and your laser minds. And now let's invite Miss L back up as she and Al bring us some more music to anchor this talk in. Get all my tools.
Reclaiming our power, absolutely, and choosing what we want to think. That's what this song is about. This is a gift from Karen Drucker. And Liz obviously has some pull with Miss Karen Drucker. She sent us her songs, and this one's absolutely perfect. She had a whole jazz band behind her and backup singers, and we're going to do our best to kind of pull that in, considering he's... we're going to do a swing version of it, right? That's right. Yeah. And don't forget that ending. All right. Ready? 1, 2. When I'm down and feeling blue, I found a trick I'll share with you. I can choose a better way with every little thought I think. If I wake up with an attitude, I fill my mind with gratitude. I give thanks for everything with every little thought I think. I can choose to be happy. I can choose to feel free. Moment by moment, yeah, it's all up to me. 'Cause when I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, there is no doubt. Day by day I pave the way with every little thought I think. What you thinking, 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 watch your thinking, oh yeah. So, when you're down and feeling blue, I'll share a trick I've found with you. You can choose a better way with every little thought you think. If you wake up with an attitude, just fill your mind with gratitude. Just give thanks for everything with every little thought you think. You can choose to be happy. You can choose to feel free, 'cause moment by moment, yeah, it's the best way to be. 'Cause what we think about, we bring about. That's the way it is, no doubt. Day by day we pave the way with every little thought we think. Day by day we pave the way with every little thought we think.
With every little thought we think. Yeah. So now is our time for our prosperity blessing. Normally we would be passing baskets for your offering. We do have a basket in the front here, one by the piano, and around the side, so that if you have anything that you'd like to use in tangible form to bless us, we appreciate that. And I just like to say that it takes a village to make everything happen, so we appreciate all that you contribute with your monetary gifts as well as your sacred seva. That's what keeps us going. Thank you so much. So our prosperity blessing, if you want to say that out loud with me, fantastic, or say it to yourself. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And now we'll take a moment also to say the prayer of protection, or prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God unfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And I apologize that I excluded our live stream folks because you're not here to drop something off in a tangible form. And some people just prefer to do things via PayPal. You can certainly go on to our Unity site, and there is a donate button that you can use. So I don't want you to feel excluded. Thank you. Or for anyone else that chooses to do that way. Thanks.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as our creator, family all are we, as we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, this is my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Thank you, Elle. Thank you, Al. Let's give them some more love. So we're going to be heading outside in just a bit so that you can have conversation and perhaps some coffee with one another. This is our little benediction, so if you'd like to go within, close your eyes and either just listen to the words, or if you choose, you can repeat after me. I am open and grateful
I am open and grateful
for knowing the truth,
knowing the truth,
that the power of love
that the power of love
and concentration
and concentration
lives in me.
lives in me.
I am making wise choices
I I am making wise choices.
I am choosing to focus my mind.
I'm choosing to focus my mind.
I love my mind.
I love my mind.
It is a laser mind.
It's a laser mind.
I am letting go
I'm letting go
of the monkey mind,
of the monkey mind,
the squirrel mind,
the squirrel mind,
and the puppy mind.
and the puppy mind.
They can come and visit,
They can come and visit,
but they're not what I'm using most of the time.
but they're not what I'm using most of the time.
My life is blessed,
My life is blessed.
and so it is.
And so it is.
Yippee-doo,
Yippee-doo.
yippee-done.
Yippee-done.
It is fun
It is fun,
because we are one.
because we are one.
And there you have it. Thank you.